Welcome to Camp.Grill.Eat. I'm Angie, and today we're making buttermilk pancakes. I probably don't have to sell you on the virtues of pancakes since we all know what they are and we all love them. But I do want to share a few tips and tricks, especially if you're making them when you're heading out camping. I've been making the same recipe for about 20 years. Works every time, and it gives you great fluffy buttermilk pancakes that everyone loves. So let's put them together. All right, let's make some pancakes. So this recipe is super simple to remember. You start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour. To that you are going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar and one teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So that makes a single recipe of the dry ingredients. You're just gonna whisk them together. So that will feed 2 very hungry adults, or sort of 3 normally hungry adults. If you've got little kids, 2 adults and 2 kids, and you can double or triple this recipe. It scales beautifully, but that's what makes a single recipe. So it's really easy to remember, just like 1 cup of flour, and then you work your way down your teaspoons from the 1 tablespoon all the way down to the 1/4 teaspoon. And to the dry ingredients, you add 1 egg, lightly beaten, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. This is optional, especially if you're camping and you don't want to take your vanilla along. That's totally fine. I like the vanilla in there, but you do not have to use it. And I get a lot of people asking if you can make the pancakes in advance. And I know you see a lot of videos or posts where the pancake mixture is made ahead of time and put in a squeeze bottle. And then you just take it along camping or in a Ziploc bag. I don't really recommend that because we're going to be adding buttermilk. I got a cup of buttermilk measured here. You'll start with about 3/4 of a cup, and then we'll see how the thickness is. It's going to depend on the humidity where you're located and your flour, how much buttermilk you're going to need, but we'll start with 3/4 a cup. The reason I don't recommend making the pancake batter ahead of time is because you've got the buttermilk reacting with the baking soda, which is creating lovely gas bubbles that are going to make your pancakes nice and fluffy. But if you make it ahead of time, that reaction happens, the gas dissipates, and you end up with a very flat pancake batter. So if you like flat pancakes, that's fine. You can make it ahead of time. Nothing's going to happen to it. But if you want those fluffy, light buttermilk pancakes, then you need to add the liquid ingredients just shortly before cooking. And that's what will give you nice, airy pancakes. So you can see this batter is pretty thick, so I'm going to add some more buttermilk. So you just need to keep adding your buttermilk until you get a nice consistency. Maybe kind of like the consistency of paint, a little bit thicker than that. It's okay if you have a little bit of lumps in there. You don't want big lumps of flour or anything, but it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. So we're gonna be cooking these on the Blackstone griddle today, but you can do it on your cast iron skillet, any other kind of cast iron griddle, or your non-stick pan or non-stick griddle. Whatever you've got, whatever is easiest. I like doing it on the Blackstone because I can cook some bacon at the same time and I can cook all the pancakes at once, but really any sturdy pan will work. So we added about 1 cup of buttermilk total. It's pretty dry where I live, so I do find that I need a little more liquid. So I would recommend starting with about 3/4 a cup and going from there. So you can see what the consistency is like. It's like a very thick paint, I guess. Anyway, so we're gonna let the batter sit while the Blackstone preheats. We'll let it heat up for about 5 minutes. I recommend letting your pancake batter sit for 5 to 10 minutes. This allows the reaction with the buttermilk to start, and you get that nice airy pancake batter. So let's head outside and get cooking. Okay, so we've got our Blackstone heating, medium heat. It's pretty windy here today, so the heat's a little higher than it normally would be. I've got some bacon going on one side because what are pancakes without a little bacon? I'm gonna add just a scoopful, usually about a 1/4 cup of batter to your preheated skillet or griddle. Depends how big you want the pancakes. My husband's always telling me that I never make them big enough, so this one's for him. And just do that till you've got all of your batter used up. If you're using the full surface of your griddle, you might be able to fit them all on. If you got some bacon going, you might have to do it in 2 batches, and that's okay. And you're just gonna let them cook until you start to see bubbles forming on the top. So we'll check back usually about 3 minutes. You can cover the lid if you're using your griddle. And we'll check back in about 3 minutes and take a look at what they're like. Okay, so our pancakes been about 3-4 minutes, and our pancakes are starting to get close. You can see right here, they've got some nice bubbles popping on the top. And if you can easily scoop underneath and lift them up, then they're probably ready to flip. So just slide underneath. Whew, and give them a quick flip. So you're gonna do that with all of them. Use the rest of your batter if you've still got some going. And they usually need about 2 minutes on the other side until they are fluffy and golden. Our first few pancakes are done and they look beautiful. They are nice and fluffy and golden brown. All you need is a little bit of maple syrup and some butter on top, or jam, or however you like them. Thanks so much for watching. As always, the link to the full recipe is in the description below. Please click subscribe for more content. Enjoy.